Hello, South students. So since school was closed early today, I'm going to show you what we would have done in class and have you do that before our next in-person class. I'm sorry that you have to do it as homework, but I don't want you to lose any days of actually working on clay. So it's really, really important that you get this little bit of planning done. It shouldn't take you too long, but I will show you how to do that after we just look at a few images here. So for our clay project, you are going to make something with clay that does get fired and glazed, and you will be able to bring it home and it will be functional. So we're going to make a vessel, a container. So if we look here on the left, there's some Egyptian vessels. These were jars that were used in the mummification process. To actually hold organs. You could do a jar with a lid. It does not have to have an animal or a figure or a face or anything on top. We could look at Greek vessels and we could look at the shapes here. And here's an example of a finished student project from previous years. So when we make our vessel, it's going to be symmetrical on both sides. You will be allowed to add a handle onto it, but you don't need to plan for that right now. You can add the handle on after your vessel is built. So do not include the handle in the drawing today if you are going to add one on later. Know that when we do make our clay, it's okay that there's like slight irregularities. This one that looks so perfect was made on an app, so everything is perfectly symmetrical. We're going to do our best to make it symmetrical, but it may not be perfect. If we're looking at this one here, the person did not work to smooth it out. So we do want to try to get ours as smooth as that. And here you can see the variety of shapes done by a whole bunch of students. So this one has a lid. Most of these do not have a foot. A foot is this little lift right here. You will be allowed to add a foot, but again, you're not going to include that in today's plan. So you can look at Egyptian vessels, Greek vessels, Native American vessels, and use any of those as an inspiration for your shape, or you can make it up. So here are some that are Greek vessels. I put X's through these because they're just too challenging. They're just too difficult. They're so skinny on the bottom, they could easily break or tip over. So we want to do something wider like this. Here are some more. These are Native American vessels, and here are some Egyptian. So again, any of them that are not crossed out could be used as inspiration. So here's the criteria. If you're a remote student, 6 inches or 5 inches tall, somewhere in that little range, 5 to 6 inches tall, not too big. You will have to bring it to school to get fired. So if we go too tall, they are more likely to break. If you are an in-person student, you will not be bringing this home with you until after it's fired. Therefore, you can go as high as 8 inches tall. So you can go 5 to 8 inches. We're going to use coils to build it, so like ropes or snakes of clay, and we're going to build around and around. And I would like for it to change diameter 2 times or 3 times. So meaning that if we start this wide on the base, as we go up, it gets wider once and then narrower once. This one, starting at the base, the foot, remember, is added later, so pretend it's not there right now. Starting on the base, it gets wider once, narrower once, and then wider a second time. So this is what we're going to work on now. I'm going to make a separate video to show you how to make these. So we're going to have a line of symmetry. We're going to draw down one side. We will try to match it as best we can on the other side, but not worry about it being perfect. It should be close, but it's okay if it's slightly off. In-person people, you can go 8 inches tall. Remote people, 6 inches tall. Then we're going to label this our golden key, and if you used an inspiration vessel for the shape of it, and go ahead and label that on there. And again, I'm going to make another video showing you all of this. Then this black line we're actually going to cut out, and all of this will become garbage except for the base. And I will show you how to figure out how big should your base be. So between these slides describing it and the video that I'm going to make actually doing it, you should be all set. And at the end of this, what you will be turning in, let's see, today's Friday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Wednesday night, before you come to school on Thursday. So by Wednesday night, this is what you should have done. the golden key, which is going to be used to compare to your vessel and make sure that everything's staying the correct shape, and the base. So that's how the golden key works. So you see how you put this next to it, and as you're building, you make your clay match the shape of your paper. So there's your paper, there's your clay. Okay, so time for video 2.